is maybe favorite of this group.
Prepare to fight.
All right, we finally got our countdowns, and again, we've got us, and we've also got CZM and Rafa on the other stream, so either way, you're going to be getting strenx versus fazz on Lost World. Fazz is going to be spinning at jump pad, grabbing away plasma, and that might cut him out of the first grab for rocket launcher, or strenx is going to be late to it, and fazz is going to get full advantage there. And even though that doesn't mean an immediate full stack for him, fazz has the weapon advantage, and by a very quick grab for a lightning gun, strenx is actually on the rear end of the map, so he has absolutely no bid on the rocket right now, and so fazz has complete control of the situation. He can do as much damage as he wants without really having any real way to be damaged at this point, so we can finally just go back over for items. This early play for red armor, he may have wanted to wait a little bit more to have a better secure grab of Mega. But so far, he's gotten both grabs fairly painlessly. That does allow strenx to move in on Rocket Launcher, though. And so, yeah, the advantage of Rocket Launcher only lasts for so long in Quake Live, especially on Lost World. But fazz is looking good here.
And the beginning of this map has been defined by the fact that fazz has had an LG and strenx has not. Actually, strenx, I'd say, very fortunate to not have died in any of these previous encounters. He was pretty much on the run for the first bit of the map because he did not have a choice item selection. Still no LG in strenx's hand, arguably strenx's best weapon. So in comes the next red armor. Looks like strenx is going to make the aggressive push down. Fazz missing the essential rocket, but strenx actually taking a little dip into the lava, so still scoreless here on DM13.
Scoreless, but fazz is definitely laid in the pain on strenx right now, and a lot of this goes back to the initial play for as grabbing red armor. That was strenx's way back into the map, and so far he's been able to survive, but I gotta say, fazz has still been able to do a great amount of damage here. Has strenx nailed back over to the mega health side of the map. That allows fazz to dive in for yellow armor. That does allow strenx to move out, but he's not gonna survive getting through the red armor teleporter. In fact, he didn't even grab red armor, so strenx is going to need to buy a new board after this, or at least the sponsors are. And so fazz is going to be taking the lead 1-0 here, just a couple minutes off, and fazz is again looking really great. Oh my god, beautiful rocket pop. And that is going to be a very, very secure 2-zip.
Denying that LG is really fazz's game plan right now. Still holding a very comfortable lockdown on the main atrium. So fazz actually does not have a rocket launcher either, so he's in a very poor position to challenge in any situation at this point. Will be able to, should be able to back off here. Looks like Trance is doing a little bit of a little stream repair for our friends over on the ESL.
That's good.
Stream number 3.
We need to hear that music anyway every once in a while.
Actually hitting a bit of plasma there, but still no LG or rocket launcher to his name. He's going to go aggressive with the LG, or excuse me, plasma gun, and it's actually paying off quite well. A little bit of a mistake there by fazz. Really
and that'll allow
underestimating.
strenx to get on the board, and he's got a bit of armor to work as well. He's got fazz over on the LG side, but again, he's got to dive back for mega health, and I wonder what kind of repercussions that'll have, as strenx is going to be another couple seconds behind red armor. Now, fazz doesn't move in for any kind of aggression. In fact, he's still looking for a rocket launcher himself, defending the corridor with plasma, but strenx is moving with rockets and doing a ton of damage in the meantime. But now, even if fazz is here, he should be able to burn off a lot of strenx's stack, and indeed, when we see fazz respawn here, where is he at? Oh, he's back over at plasma side again, so he's going to be back in the same position, but now strenx is only going to be at 100 and 150, and he's heading through the teleporter, so this should allow fazz to make a move for rocket launcher.
Instead, fazz opts to back up for the LG, probably the safer play. I don't think he's not going to commit to dealing damage at this red armor. I believe he just wants to stay alive. So strenx actually realizes that fazz will be going pretty passive at this moment. So wisely trying to catch fazz with his pants down in the middle of the map somewhere.
And
in comes this next mega health.
Absolutely, and the more that strenx stacks up here, I mean, he's just hit 200 just about, and now fazz absolutely needs to get free damage off. without strenx really retaliating. And coming out of the yellow armor area, actually Fazz fairly well there, and he can back off to above mega health. And strenx really doesn't have a way to follow, at least not without eating a bouquet of rockets there. And so I gotta say, Fazz really played that out well, but oh, dropping down. strenx is gonna be able to beat him with his lightning shaft the whole way, taking the lead 3-2. Now, he doesn't really have a lot to work with at the moment, and Fazz is actually baiting out the mega health. Just not enough damage to really make that play justifiable. But I gotta say, Fazz has the right idea. He's giving up frags right now, but he's doing damage. He's keeping strenx low. We're not quite seeing the same kind of Rafa and Cypher play, where both of them are running around with full stacks.
Oops. I believe Fazz meant to pick up that plasma gun there. He's going to be rocketed into the ground, which is actually going to count as a self-kill as he craters. And yet another spawn frag. You don't see many spawn frags on Lost World, but strenx able to pick up a couple in a row here. About 4 minutes left. Fazz has to do something drastic soon, as strenx will be able to easily pick up that mega health and the red armor as well, so Fazz is going to have to survive just for now on yellow armors alone. Fazz going aggressive in the hallway. It might be the right decision because of the pressure that the clock is putting on him right now. However, it's certainly not ideal.
Yeah, and that kind of pressure is the exact kind of situation that'll make Fazz make more mistakes. I mean, he's got to balance out going aggressive and taking strenx's stack down with the fact that he's probably going to have to give up a couple frags in the meantime. But a couple more frags to strenx's side means that, you know, less than 4 minutes on the clock, that's not a lot of time just to catch up. And as you said, not a lot of spawn frags available on Lost World, so Fazz is in a difficult position. He's really got to this out carefully, just so he doesn't make many mental mistakes. But even without those mistakes, he could go completely the other way and just hole up and never make the move that he needs to. So he's between a situation where he's either going to choke up and lock up, or just give away frags, give away frags, give away frags. And he needs to make some solid hits right here, right now. Coming out into mid, he's got strenx at above mega, but strenx really doesn't find Fazz doing much damage there.
Funny little anecdote here. In the pre-game warm-up, they were making fun of each other's LG accuracies. It turns out that they have the exact same accuracies that they were that they were talking about in the pre-game. Fazz rocking a 26% LG, while strenx seems to be rocking a 35% LG. strenx has picked up 12 red armors to Fazz's 2, 9 mega healths to Fazz's 3, and 10 yellow armors to Fazz's 18. So, strenx has had a pretty much a stranglehold on the major power-ups on this map for the majority of the map so far. Doesn't look like he's gonna let up on that either, as he collects finally a near 200 stack. Fazz is not looking good in this last 2 minutes. He has to make something happen right here if he wants a chance.
But on the flip side, strenx has really been playing this well. He's been able to match Fazz damage to damage every time they get into a close range fight. And with having the stack, of course, it's going to be giving him the frags. And actually, I mean, since Fazz has been backing up a little bit more, that's been allowing strenx to grab all the items that he needs. And finally, we see a play here at Mega. strenx taking a ton of damage, but he grabs Mega at just the last second. And in fact, that Mega's only going to leave him at about 130 health. And so 8-1 with a minute and a half. This will be Fazz's real chance to get the frag back on the board, but at this point, it's nearly hopeless for him to really catch up. Yeah, there we go. There's Shoddy. There's the frag. But again, he's weak. Wouldn't even be surprised to see strenx just... Exactly. Yeah, that.
strenx spamming his binds a little bit. Cooler has joined the server. Looks like he wants to see how his opponents in the next round of the playoffs, well, the first round of the playoffs, are faring nice. They're rocked there by strenx. Fazz going to get a little bit of a moral victory as he picks up the frag in the main atrium, but these guys are obviously not playing for realsies anymore. Fazz has lost the map. Do we have knowledge of... Oh, another double KO. 2 double KOs in a row. Yes, I said double KO, mixing up my esports and gaming terminology. Lols.
But
Map
final
number
30
2.
seconds. Yeah, I'm actually scanning back through the console right now. They did mention it earlier. But yeah, Strenx taking a very, very strong lead in Lost World, and actually an 11 frag lead for Strenx on Lost World. That's rather telling, just because you don't usually see that huge of a spread here. But very, very nice, very aggressive by Strenx, working out well. But I've lost the map list, and we're going to have to see what map number 2 will be. I'm sure CZM and Rafa know.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, I got it. I'm doing it now.
Now our the players are kind of chatting about the course of this TM13 matchup. I'd agree with pretty much what Faz said there. Very nice. Strenx complimenting him on the early gameplay. He was able to not deny that LG for such a long time, but in the end it was Strenx's MG that Faz really did not give enough credence to. Our next map is Hectic.
Ooh.
So very excited to see how these guys play on Hectic. Faz obviously showing that he knows how the map works, he knows the flow of the map. We're going to see if Strenx's superior LG aim and map control can get him another win here.
But it is not good Hectic, says Strenx. It is land and have RL.
Yes.
Alright, but yeah,
Sweden,
two very aggressive players on the most aggressive map one could think of, with the possible exception being Arrowwalk. But these guys will be getting readied up soon, and this is going to be a double-digits map, both players. I'm positive.
CZM and Rafa commentating at the same time. That's just... Oh my god.
That's alright. Means the pressure's off, right?
Yeah.
But right now, I think Trance is running around making sure that NVC's getting his stream back up, because the Hang and Vu are also going on as well. But here we go, we've got our down map 2. Strenx takes this, then the so far undefeated Faz will face his first defeats at the hands of Strenx. But watching Strenx out of the gate, gonna be spawning mid up, and it's actually gonna be Faz taking away first red armor, and with that red armor, Strenx aggressed him fairly quickly. Faz getting first frag, but because of the timing of it, Faz has plenty of time to go back and get an essentially free Mega. But look at this, Mega armor all burned off at the hands of Strenx's rocket launcher. Again, just like Strenx says, it is land and I have RL. But Faz up 2-0. How long can he hold on to the lead, however, with that low of a stack and Strenx being on his ass 24/7? There we go, Strenx getting the frag on the board, and I fear it's going to be his last before we see Faz get another one.
Very much appreciating the aggressive play from Strenx right now. I'm really liking the kind of precedent that's being set right now for momentum on this map. Faz jumping in with the railgun. Not great positioning, but he does hit 2 rails in a row. Questionable plays, it's just so risky right now. Faz is essentially betting that he'll hit rail after rail after rail, and he does hit rail after rail. Both players will die once again. These guys really like double killing in this matchup so far. Another frag for Faz though, left with not much health at all, but he will be able to collect this Mega. Will he be able to get out?
Pulling a bit of a cipher though, that botched rocket jump. I mean, he was still able to recover the Mega, but gave Strenx a lot of physical position. And my god, look at these lightning guns coming out of these guys. 36% accuracy for Faz. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's railgun, but lightning gun 29% Faz, 36% for Strenx, and Strenx has made sure to punish with that with that lightning gun as often as possible. Faz going back through teleporter. It's going to be a top map play. Good rocket so far, but again, Strenx absolutely raining down the destruct on Faz with the railgun, and Faz coming through the teleporter with only 6 health. Well, that'll leave Strenx with 4, so again, very neck and neck, and these guys are tied 3-3. Strenx is able to recover with Mega, but that only, again, leaves him with 100-100. Yellow armor is going to, oddly enough, be the kingpin item for these guys, and that'll give Strenx a mild advantage here. It'll come down to the rails from down below, though.
Very questionable play right now for Fazz, going aggressive at this red armor. Again, though, he is hitting so many rails. Very impressive. Now Strenx to collect the Mega. He's going to be playing quietly. Well, on the top rung of the map, Fazz is just going to be cruising along in autopilot.
Impressive.
And
again,
with Fazz aggressing with rocket launchers there, he needs to be careful how quickly he's moving because he's really depending on a certain distance from Strenx to get the damage done. Any further, and without that railgun, Fazz is just frag bait. I mean, that's exactly what we've seen twice now. And so Fazz, if he's going to be using the rocket launcher to burn off Strenx's stack, he needs to find a way to get in close. And with Heck, that can actually be a bit of a chore. So Strenx is going to recover to Mega, and even down below, Strenx won't be there for very long, and Fazz will have a lot of difficulty finding a good angle to let those rockets do his work. And actually, coming back through teleport is going to be risky again. I mean, Strenx is going to have his L trained on that teleporter exit immediately, and so Fazz is going to be running away, looking to recover. And he's finally got a railgun, but his rail has not quite been performing to the extent that Strenx's has.
again, Fazz is just not finding opportunities to be defensive. In almost every single battle, he's taking 50-50 or, 40-60, angles or shots. He's not able to use positioning to his advantage at all, and he's just getting caught out a lot. That said, he's only down 3 frags, 4 minutes expired on the game clock. So it's still anyone's game. This is hectic after all, and Fazz hits a great rocket. We'll follow up with a second as well. But, again, he's exposing himself here when he could have potentially backed off and survived.
Now, yeah, he was already weak when he switched to Railgun, and so he was looking just to get some token damage off there, but what he might not have been keeping in his head was the timing of it, and even if Strenx took a couple of rails, he would have been alright, and he would have recovered to Mega, and that's exactly what he's done. And the fact that Fazz only hit one of those, maybe not so good for him. And so Red Armor's going to be up. Strenx is probably going to take a bit more damage at the Red Armor. No, Fazz's rail cascades against the top of the archway there. And so Strenx is going to maintain his 4-frag lead, and he's still got positioning. Actually, Strenx dropping down. That's allowed Fazz to get in on the middle room, letting his rockets finally do the work that Fazz was looking for earlier in the match. And so we're now through the halfway point. 3 frags to play for Fazz, but he's got to maintain the tactical positions here. He's got to maintain a position where he can do the damage when he wants, keep Strenx off his back, because again, both these players very aggressive, but so far Fazz has not had the positioning.
Strenx may be underestimating his opponent's aim right now. Going a little riskier than I think many of us would expect. Not in a position Fazz is to stop this red armor pickup at all, but Strenx with just 12 health is going to get taken down before he can even steal away that yellow armor. So now only 1 frag lead for Strenx. Fazz is on the warpath and he has the stack to do so. He's going to push him through the teleporter. Looks like he could get another frag here. Again, a double KO one more time. Both players reset. It looks like either player has an opportunity for this red armor. Oh, Fazz is railable. He shoots himself with a rocket, and he's exactly railable with 80 health. He will get taken down as a railgun.
But that was a very odd play by Fazz. He gave up his height advantage to go mid-tier, and you could see that as soon as his feet touched the ground, he was already looking for a way back. He was like, okay, shit, I just kind of lost all my advantage. And fortunately for him, Strenx went teleporter. It let him do the damage, but it didn't let him do any damage without getting anything in return. And so Fazz, again, just kind of sticking his neck out further than maybe he intends to. And so Red Armor will be going over to Strenx once again. And Fazz's rockets, again, not in a place where they'll really work out well. He can throw those rockets, but unless he gets a direct hit from below, it's not going to be doing him much good.
Teleporter will be taken by Strenx, and a Mega Health collected. I'm not really sure what Fazz's reasoning is there for following through the teleporter. he may have expected Strenx to have already moved on from that point of view. So nice rockets by Fazz, but still Strenx with the advantage. Fazz is going to be able to steal away the red armor though. Still in a dangerous health situation. Gonna have to find health. It doesn't seem like there's very much health on the map. Is that
now this might be
up?
very telling here. It's the first time in a while we've seen Strenx playing from this back position from the weak end of the map, and we get to see how he plays it as compared to Fazz, because it hasn't been working out all that well for Fazz so far. He's got position right now, but if Strenx can take next frag away... Oh, no, coming through the teleporter. Fazz is ready with him with the rocket, and he's still at 100 health to boot at the end of that, and he's able to catch Strenx at yellow armor, and that is the kind of positioning that we needed to be seeing from earlier. So now he's only down by one frag, but again, dropping down. Oh, beautiful rocket right on the railgun, and we're starting to see a little bit of Rafa style right off of the spawn, going immediately to rail, doing damage on it, whether or not it stopped. Fazz has got the right idea now, but those last couple rockets were a little bit more messy. He got knocked out of position a little bit more, and so now he's searching.
10 to 10 is the score line. Very close game here on Hectic. I don't think most people expected Strenx to be taking a much stronger lead, although maybe this map does lend itself to Fazz's game style.
It lends itself to random bullshit happening, yeah. But it's going to be shaft
the
shaft
LG
across the middle atrium, and there we go. There's the switch up to railgun. After Fazz was done with this shaft, you kind of saw a moment of hesitation there about, okay, what do I want to switch to, what do I want to go to? Strenx immediately had the right idea, and his rail was on point. And red armor was available after that, Mega was available after that, and so now Strenx is going to be able to enjoy a superior stack for the next 20 seconds or so, unless Fazz's rails start to connect like that. So Strenx only at 100 health now. Fazz is still looking for the rail, though. This is kind of dangerous for him. I mean, he's going to need a couple of solid hits with rail plus a little bit of shaft in order to finish Strenx off. And as opposed to that, I mean, a lot of rocket, a lot of LG, just aggressive-like, could do that job much quicker, maybe cleaner as well. And in the meantime, Strenx is going to be doing his own rails at the same time. So, less than 1 minute, one frag up for Strenx. Could go either way.
I like this play by that's actually hitting two amazing defensive rockets after Strenx picks up both the Mega Health and the Red Armor, but defensive rails are not going to be good enough. Actually, Strenx was railable in that situation. However, Fazz did not connect when it counted the most. Now it's up to the last second here. Nice rocket. He still has a chance. One frag separates these two players. Just 20 seconds. Fazz hits the rail and another. He's going to tie it up with just 15 seconds left, Jahar.
This is Hectic. Love this map so goddamn much, and this is exact why. So Fazz right now, 150 health, diving back down, looking to catch Strenx, but again, he's just moving into yellow armor by the time that Strenx is moving out, and so that'll be overtime. But Fazz was making that aggressive for the yellow armor, and with that yellow armor being the most important item on the board at the time, I cannot blame him for that at all, but didn't leave him in a position where he could do some damage. Well, yep, there's the shaft from up top. Strenx will be spawning rocket launcher, moving in on the damage, and actually Fazz moved rather close there. I'm not sure I really like that play from Fazz. He moved to an opportune distance for Strenx's rockets to get in, and oh my god, beautiful bounce down. We're starting to see some of the Fazz that we saw versus Vu, where he's able to get in front of his opponent, be on top of him, and put the kind of pressure on Strenx that'll keep Strenx from really retaliating all that effectively. So 1 minute 20 seconds left in the overtime. Fazz up 2. If he doesn't make any major mistakes here, he should be able to get this. But here's the thing. If he tries to go defensive right now, he'll be giving it all back over to Strenx. He needs to keep the pressure up. He needs to stay stuck him.
DD Will, Strenx knows that the time is ticking down. He's got to make a couple rails connect in a row right now if he wants to make this happen. The Mega Health will be spawning. Fazz actually deciding not to go for the spawning Mega Health. That was a decent play, but that allowed Strenx, delaying the pickup of the Mega Health, allowed Strenx to pick up the Red Armor. Strenx actually still has a chance as well. Very exciting games here in the very beginning of our coverage of today's matches. A very crucial rocket there for Fazz. However, Strenx still has an opportunity. Fazz will collect the yellow armor.
Strenx is weak, though. Strenx is actually slowing down a little bit. He's taking solid control of red armor area, and even though he's early for it, Fazz was elsewhere during that time. But strenx delaying, that's actually a very, very kind of key indication that strenx is wearing out here. He's getting a little bit more worried about how he wants to play this out. He knows there's only frags to play, but you have to admit that sometimes there are players who are just not as effective going slow, and that will be Fazz taking strenx in Hectic. And my god, this is the Fazz that some people were kind of rooting for, but just like Cypher, nobody really expected just to be flushing out all of his opponents so far here. So far he's taken down Kilsen, taken down, Vu, and we're about to see potentially... Well, Fazz has taken strenx as well. I'm sorry, I kind of got lost there. I thought this was still second map with strenx taking the first, but hey, it's early. But Fazz definitely burning through the group stage so far. Do we have an update on Vu and Dehang?
Vote now. Vote. Passed.
Dismemberment coming up. This is a real wild card right here. It is important to note that strenx started out that map with about a 36% LG. By the end, it was dipped down to 27. They were both sitting at 27, so LG very crucial in those
I wasn't
battles.
Crazy. The scoreboard was just lying to me. But here we go, Fazz strenx on the tiebreaker. It's going to be dismemberment now. Fazz getting away with red armor, and of course, you know, Fish, this is going to be a very, very different map than either Hectic or Lost. In fact, there's going to be a lot more distance, a lot rails, and so far strenx's rails have been much more biting into Fazz, but we've already seen Fazz play very effectively against the likes of Vu. No slouch indeed, so I really have no idea going into this map who's going to come out on top. And I just got word that indeed Dehang took down Vu 2-0.
So that puts Vu in a pretty scary position. Must win.
It puts Vu in the CZM seat.
strenx will drop down and collect that red armor. 10 seconds till the mega health. Fazz in a better position, but looks like strenx could be looking for the long range rail. No, he will take the teleporter. Where was Fazz?
That was a big mistake, Fazz. Fazz was in position for rail, but he pretty much just checked it, saw it wasn't there, and apparently just didn't have timing on it. So strenx was able to get in, get out with that completely free. And now Fazz wanting to go all aggressive against strenx. I mean, he did get him a 43 health, but after that mega, Fazz just didn't really have the opportune stack for that fight. For just a toe-to-toe, I fight you, you fight me with your lightning gun. This is Quake 1994 to play, you know? But strenx currently up 1-0 with 2 seconds left to play to Mega. We're going to have to see if Fazz comes in for the rail. In fact, Fazz ends up getting a rail, but he gets, kind of stuck on the geometry, or did he just stop moving? All right, you take me. That's it. But hey, at least he got the biting rail back in there. So only a couple minutes on block. strenx coming back in, but there's the Fazz I'm looking for, coming out of nowhere with a rocket. And even though it wasn't a very decisive amount of damage, it's going to be enough to keep strenx completely off of Fazz's back for the next few seconds. And if Fazz can polish up rails, then all the better.
So strenx with an early 2-0 lead. However, Fazz, nice rockets there, should be able to follow up for the frag. At least he's going to have free reign over this mega health. So strenx now in a pretty poor position. The yellow armor is up, but I don't think he'll be able to make it to it. Nope. Fazz will collect. Fazz now building a very nice little stack here. I do hope that he does have time on this red armor, though. Yeah, strenx is nowhere to be found at the red armor.
strenx is going a little bit quiet right now. He's in fact looking for long-distance rails. And again, a lot of dismemberment can come down to who has the better map geometry knowledge, who can play the angles, who can play the areas of the map better and get in those opportune rails. strenx is looking for one on Mega. There's the hit, and that'll be 80 health off of the bonus of 100 from the Mega. And strenx nailing in another one. Now Fazz is definitely on the back leg, but he's still trying to rock in some rockets. strenx might take a little bit of splash coming out of here, and nice job there by Fazz, keeping strenx in the room just for a second, so by the time he wants to edge out, Fazz is in a good position for the rail. Can he get a second one? No, he's not going to be there for it, but right now strenx know where Fazz is either. We hear shards up above, and that'll give strenx the opportunity to move out of that area, get back through the teleporter, and get back into someplace he can defend himself.
So Fazz to collect the red armor? Well, strenx takes the mega health. Pretty much identical stacks right now for both players. Fazz needs to find a way back in. Oh, and strenx? Both players going silent there. Strenx actually getting caught looking the wrong direction. However, Fazz cannot connect with a number of those shots there. Strenx to pick up that red armor as well. So now Fazz will not be able to challenge. Uh-oh. Fazz going aggressive
there
when
we go.
maybe he doesn't realize quite
say,
how big his opponent's stack is.
We haven't seen strenx really bringing out the lightning gun so far, and this is strenx worth talking about. This is, craft strenx, and not seeing effective play of the lightning gun from him so far. A little bit surprising. That'll bring his accuracy up to 31%. Fazz has still done a bit more damage with it at 38%, but we're now halfway through the match. Strenx up by 3 and a good stack to boot. Fazz has been playing fairly ninja so far, but his long-range plays have been a little bit too inconsistent to keep strenx off his back. So 1 second to Mega, strenx will get that for free, having that frag on Fazz just a few seconds before. Fazz didn't have quite enough time to get a railgun and do damage on strenx. And oh, Fazz actually going in for that red armor. That was actually a bit of a timing error as well, because strenx had plenty of time to get from Mega to red. And even if Fazz got the grab, then strenx would have done damage. But actually, Fazz was trying to go in and out of there with that rocket jump. Problem is, he didn't get the grab. So Fazz is back to square one. Actually, it's still at square 0 as far as the frag's concerned.
Strenx finally getting very nice control of the map, although his opponent has picked up a red armor. Strenx will nail that rail shot. So looking at the item pickups, I'll hold my tongue until this battle is over. Fazz looks like he's going to be able to find an exit from that battle. Strenx has picked up 9 red armors to Fazz's 4 with 4 minutes left in the game, and 7 mega healths to Fazz's 3. It's actually been Fazz, though, who's dealt slightly more damage. That's something you probably wouldn't have expected out of this matchup. But Strenx with great control. Fazz actually dealing out a little bit more damage.
And actually, in dismemberment, doing more damage would usually mean a lot more damage dealt on the items. But Fazz has been playing all of his damage nearly mid-map. And it's been kind of a 50-50 there as far as whether or not he's even in a really good position for it. I mean, Strenx down here at red armor. He's going to be popping out here. And Fazz is actually in a better position for those rockets. Before, he was throwing out rockets from the other side of the room. And, of course, that really wasn't doing all that much. Maybe pushing Strenx into a position where the rail would be handy. But other than the one rail hit, we haven't seen much out of Fazz there. So, Strenx taking another frag off the board. 5-0. 3 minutes left to play. And we need to see Fazz doing something significantly different.
Fazz making the aggressive play for the railgun. I do believe that's the right move. Yeah. I do believe it's the right move in that situation, but Strenx really capitalizing on the positioning and his weapon advantage. Now, it's all up to Fazz. Can he string together? Nice set of rail shots.
Nice. Yeah, Fazz is, I don't want to say he's choking a little bit here, but he's doing less and less damage as time goes on, depending more on that railgun to soften up Strenx, but here's the thing, he's not hitting them. And so he's doing essentially no damage to Strenx in these fights. Strenx is just getting free frags out of it. And so it's kind of a last-ditch kind of gameplay blitz. Fazz could do better. But hey, I mean, this thing did go to third map. Fazz has already taken down a couple of opponents. Strenx might not be one of them, but it did come down to the final map. And having dismemberment as a tiebreaker is generally very polarizing. It's still a new enough map to where one player out of any given 2 generally has a pretty clear advantage. course, that'll change over time, but so far here at IEM, we're not quite yet. So strenx will be recovering back over towards Mega. That'll give red armor to Fazz, but with only a minute and 20 seconds left on the clock, I mean, it's just a party favor right now. And I gotta hand it to strenx. I mean, we haven't seen the usual just balls to the wall gameplay from him. He's actually been playing this thing fairly intelligently. He's been having places where he's stopped, where he's paused in a room where he hits. He's taken a few rails because of it, but overall, he's been exposing himself way less to Fazz than, for example, Vu was earlier.
Impressive.
It's absolutely true. Dismemberment, always the interesting map. Personally, just on a personal note, I would have loved to have seen T9 instead of Dismemberment in this map pool.
I cannot remember the last time I've seen T9 in a professional tournament.
For some reason, people just stopped putting it in tournaments a while back, but a little disappointed about that, however. No worries. Fazz will take a loss here. Yes, the first loss for him in this tournament so far.
And this will make 2-0 for strenx. So we're going to be taking a look at this here, seeing who's coming up next. But we've also seen DeHang take down Vu 2-0. Apparently, Lost World was pretty close, which Lost World does, but DeHang took Arrow Walk fairly cleanly. So we're going to be looking to Trance and the rest of the Level Up crew for the schedule of what's coming up next. But between ESL TV